Alright, now I'm going to go over the neutral cards. Made this video once before, but something happened to the audio, so I'm going to make it again. We start the neutral cards with Littlefinger. He costs 5 gold, has the intrigue and power icons, and 4 strength. The ally, lord, and small council abilities, and reaction, after you marshal Littlefinger, draw 2 cards. He also adds +1 gold to your overall gold per round. At 5 gold, he's a little expensive, but given that he gives you +1 gold per turn, I think it's very worth it. Gives you +1 gold per turn, and he lets you draw 2 cards right when he comes onto the board, giving you immediate options. So he is a good card. He's one that I think is going to make his way to a lot of decks, which is probably why... Oh, I thought they gave you 2 of them, but I guess they only give you 1, so you're only going to have 3 to play with if you have all the box sets. Next is Varus. He's 6 gold, the intrigue icon, 3 strength, the stealth keyword, and the interrupt. When the dominance phase ends, remove Varus from the game to discard each character from play. So that's a disgusting ability. That's why he's so expensive for such mediocre stats. Second he hits the table, everybody's going to be gunning for him. He is a great way to even the odds if you happen to be behind, perhaps, in the character department. They apparently expect him to get a ton of play because they give you 2 of them. Now, it's important to note it's discard from play, not kill. So even if you have to wipe your entire board, you can still play other copies of those cards because they're in your discard pile. Rattleshirt Raiders. 4 gold, the warfare icon, 3 strength. Raider and Wildling keywords, no attachments. Reaction. After you win a challenge in which Rattleshirt Raiders is participating as an attacker, choose an attachment controlled by the losing opponent and discard it from play. Not the best ability, but not the worst either. There are a lot of nasty attachments in the game nowadays, so makes people think twice when they've got ice or the Widow's Wail or something latched onto somebody before they go messing with these guys. So that's a good thing in my opinion. Again, you get 2 of them. Next is the Wildling Horn. 5 gold, the warfare icon. The warfare and power icons. 5 strength, army and wildling keywords. No attachments and pillage. Pillage is that ability that lets you discard the top card of an opponent's deck when you beat them in a challenge. And challenges action. Kneel your faction card to choose a participating wildling character you control. Until the end of the challenge, that character gets +2 strength. Now what's cool about this is that it's any wildling character you control, not just the Wildling Horde. So that's very interesting. That makes them very useful beyond just the fact that they're a 5, strength card. And again, you get 2 of those. We move on from characters to attachments. We have the Seal of the Hand. 3 gold. Lord or Lady only. Action, kneel, Seal of the Hand to stand attached character. If you remember, if you've watched the other videos, you'll note there's a lot of characters who have special abilities that go into effect when they're standing, or when they stand. So this actually can be a very useful card in the right deck. Also, and it also gives you defenders. It'll let you use somebody in multiple challenges if they have multiple icons. So very neat card. Bodyguardz, another really neat card. I see this being in a ton of decks just because you definitely want to protect your characters. 1 gold attachment. Needs a condition. Lord or Lady character only. Interrupt. When attached character would be killed or discarded from play, sacrifice Bodyguard to save the character. This is good for several reasons. 1, it lets you save a character. 2, it's a deterrent. In the game that my wife and I played, she had ice, but didn't want to use ice on Jaime Lannister because he had his bodyguard. She would have just been using ice to kill the bodyguard, so she just sat on ice. Which, not necessarily a bad thing for her either, because ice gave her +2 strength, but it kept her from just using ice to destroy one of my characters. And he didn't have to do anything. Just the fact that he was there was a big enough deterrent to that end. Kind of wish they gave you 2 of these. I could see including them in a bunch of decks. Little Bird. 1 gold attachment. Condition card. Attached character gains the Intrigue icon. Another really useful ability. Especially in those houses that are kind of weak to intrigue. Like Baratheon and Stark. Milk of the Poppy. 1 gold attachment. Condition with the terminal keyword. Treat attached character's printed text box as if it were blank, except for traits. So that's another really brutal card. That can really neuter some characters. Eddard's got a really neat ability. Cersei's ability. Almost any of the Night Watch. They all rely on their abilities. So a good card. One that I think is going to see a lot of play in a lot of different decks. They give you 2 of it. Noble Lineage. 0 gold condition. Attached character gets the power icon. Maybe not as impressive as Little Bird, because there's a lot of characters with the power icon. That is one that they did not shy away from. But he is 1 gold cheaper than Little Bird. So it's a free card that you get to play to give someone who, for whatever reason, happens to not have the power icon, the power icon. Sirio's Training. 1 gold attachment, condition skill. Attached character gains a warfare icon. That's really useful. Because there are a lot of characters that don't have the warfare icon that you might wish they did. The Iron Throne. 2 gold location, King's Landing keyword. The Iron Throne contributes 8 strength to your total for dominance, and it gives you +1 card that you can retain at the end of the turn with its +1 reserve value. This is just incredible, in my opinion. Probably one of the best locations for just... It's almost guaranteeing you get +1 power in the dominance phase. And that's not something that people are going to let you get away with, for long. And there's not a ton of ways to get rid of locations, so... Excellent, excellent card. I see why they only have 1 in the box set, so you only get 3 to play with. Oh, yeah, and it has the little unique symbol. If you look here, that little crosshair symbol means it's unique, obviously, so you can't have 3 in play or anything. But very powerful location. I'm surprised it's not limited. I'm surprised you can play it and something like the King's Road in the same turn. And that brings us to the King's Road. 1 gold location, Westeros keyword, limited, marshalling action. Kneel and sacrifice the King's Road to reduce the cost of the next character you marshal this phase by 3. And it gives you +1 initiative. This is one of those double-edged sword locations, because you don't want to get rid of it, because you love that +1 initiative. You always want to be the person who controls who goes when, or at least who goes first. But the ability to lower the cost of a card by 3, a lot of time it's going to be the only way to bring those 7 cost characters into play. And I think they give you 4 of these. Yeah, so if you have all 3 box sets, which I think is what they anticipate people having, you're going to end up having 16 King's Roads. They definitely expect people to include those in their decks. The Rose Roads as well. 0 cost location, limited, gives you +1 gold a turn. Very, very useful. And again, I think they give you 4. So you have 12, not 16 of each. Now we have Put to the Sword, a 2-cost event. Reaction. After you win a warfare challenge by 5 or more strength as the attacking player, choose and kill a character controlled by the losing opponent. Max 1 per challenge. That's rough. It doesn't cost a whole lot, but the needing to win by 5 or more, that's committing a lot of forces to one attack. Still, being able to control who gets killed, though, That's in addition to the one that they have to choose. That's brutal. And anytime you get to choose the character that's killed is huge. Put to the torch. 1 gold event. Reaction. After you win a warfare challenge by 5 or more strength as the attacking player, choose a location controlled by the losing opponent and discard it from play. So again, that 5 or more is kind of rough, but choosing and getting rid of a location, as we saw, there are some really decent locations that can be had out there. And going back to this card, as choose and kill a character controlled by the losing opponent. It doesn't even say participating, so you can kill anybody, even if it's somebody not part of the challenge. So that makes that card even better. There you get 2 put to the torches. Oops, shoot. Superior Claim. 0 gold event. Reaction. After you win a power challenge by 5 or more strength, gain 2 power for your faction. So that would essentially give you 3 power for winning by 5 or more. And since you're only playing to 15, that's actually kind of big. This is, I can see this being a finisher card. Holding it in your hand just to get you that little bit over the edge so that you're not close and then you just become a target for everybody's power challenges. Tears of Liss, 1 gold event. Poison. Reaction. After you win an intrigue challenge as the attacking player, place a poison token on a character without an intrigue icon controlled by the losing opponent. At the end of the phase, if the character still has the poison token, remove it and kill that character. Max 1 per challenge. As someone who plays the Lannisters, I love this card. That'll let you, because they don't have a lot of direct kill and they don't have a lot of strong warfare aside from 1 or 2 characters, really Tywin and Jaime. So being able to find a way to kill somebody is huge for them. I think it's going to be huge for other houses such as the Tyrells as well. We have the Hand's Judgment, X cost event. Interrupt. When the effects of an opponent's event would initiate, cancel those effects. X is that event's printed cost. It's expensive, but being able to cancel an event is huge. That's a way to avoid the Tears of Liss. Way to avoid the Superior Claim. Now, the interesting thing is, if you play Hand of Judgment, and somebody Hand of Judgments you, say you play Hand of Judgment to counter Tears of Liss, you would pay 1 gold to play the event. They would pay 0 gold to counter your Hand of Judgment, because it says, let's see, would initiate, cancel those effects, X is the event's printed cost. The printed cost of this card is X. X is equal to 0. So it's cheaper to cancel this card with itself than to cancel any other card in the game. I think that's something that's going to cause some confusion, and something that I almost guarantee will be addressed in a frequently asked questions almost immediately. Oh, I didn't want to include this one, but I will go ahead and discuss it now anyway. Fealty is an agenda card. You can take agendas. You take 1 agenda with your deck, and it gives you special rules. This agenda says you cannot include more than 15 neutral cards in your deck. Action, kneel your faction card to reduce the cost of the next loyal card you marshal, or play this phase by 1. So, really it's going to depend on how many neutral cards you're looking to play. If you're looking to not really play that many anyway, then you're fine. This will be a great agenda for you. It's not really affecting your deck build, and it lets you reduce the cost of a loyal card. Now keep in mind, loyal cards have... my dogs are playing, I apologize. Can you guys just give me 2 minutes? Loyal cards... I'm looking through the Martell deck to find... well, anyone that's loyal in the Martell deck, which is apparently nobody. Oh, okay, here we go. If you look at AGoT, see how he has the little banner underneath the Martell sign? And if you look at Ariane Martell, she does not have that. That little banner represents that he is loyal. So you could kneel your, if you were playing the Martells with this card, you could kneel your faction card to reduce his cost from 3 to 2. The only other agendas they put in the game are actually on the various house cards. So you see one side is their house, and the other side is an agenda. It's a banner agenda. This lets you include characters from outside of your house. Without this agenda, every non-neutral card you include has to have your faction symbol. By taking the banner agenda, you may include non-loyal cards in your deck. Now, what that means is you can't include area. Like if you were playing the Lannisters with the banner agenda, you couldn't include AGoT because he's loyal to the Martells and would never ally with the Lannisters. Arya and Martell, however, apparently might. That's how I'm understanding it. I think it's a little wonky in the wording of the card itself here, because it just says you may include non-loyal Martell cards in your deck. You must include at least 12 Martell cards in your deck. So I guess if I was playing Lannisters, I would actually take this as an extra card, letting me take non-loyal Martell cards. And then I must include at least 12 such cards in my deck. So that's pretty good. I guess that's how it... I guess I never really read it. I wasn't really thinking... I was thinking always the entire time, well, it's your house card. You're just flipping it over, but you're not. And again, keeping in mind, this is one starter set. You're going to probably have 3 of these, so you're going to have 3 of each of these house cards. So you would have your normal house card. So let's see. If I was playing House Lannister, I'd have my Lannister card. Then I'd also have the Banner of the Sun agenda. So I'm a Lannister deck, but I can include non-loyal Martell cards in my deck. I just have to include at least 12 Martell cards in my deck. So that's pretty cool. That is way better than the system they had in previous editions for agendas. And there you have it. Hopefully this audio comes out well, and I'll be uploading this immediately. Hope you enjoyed it.